Hello everybody, welcome back. I want to thank my new subscribers. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and prosperity to you all. Uh, Today I am going to show you proof of why everything history has told you is a lie. That's right, everything history has taught you is a lie. What is my proof? I will show you. First of all, whatever happened in this part of the world, which is New England, it happened so fast that it literally turned everything to stone. Um, yeah, everything was turned to stone in a very short amount of time. Now, how is this possible? Well, if you understand anything about the Younger Dryas, it was the last great extinction event on planet Earth. Some people believe it was an asteroid that split apart. Some people believe that it was a solar event. But nonetheless, I am going with the theory that volcanoes erupted simultaneously, spewing hot sulfur and ash and whatnot into the ocean, where things were boiled and then rapidly cooled and became petrified and turned to stone. So what are some examples of this? Well, let's start with the most basic example, which is a piece of wood. This is also, what I'm going to show is also tied in with a very advanced civilization that was here at the time when this happened. Now, when I say advanced, I mean more intelligent than human beings are today. And what is my evidence of that? Well, I have shown some of that in my previous videos, where the complicated creations that they made were so complex, modern humans do not think on that level. It's thinking multi-dimensional at the same time. So let's get down to some of the artifacts that I have to show you that the reason they're not finding, quote, fossils in New England is because they're not understanding that everything was turned to stone all at once. So let's start with some basic things. Here I have a chunk of petrified wood. Okay, how do we know it's wood? Because it has bark, because it actually feels like wood. It's flat on the bottom, but it's actually stone. And what's interesting about it is the way it was carved. Okay, none of this is by accident. I'll show you. Now take a look at this. See that guy right there? The caveman face. But then also, take a look at this. See that? This is artwork that is put on here. And whatever way you turn it, it will become something else. See that face? This is an example of the ability that these creatures had to create something that no matter which way you turn it, it becomes something else. Now, that is not even possible for human beings today. So it takes a very intelligent type of thinking. And even the smallest detail, such as this, is significant. Because you can put this any direction, and you will find there is something there. even this indent right here, see that? Everything about this, oops, excuse me, everything about this shows that it was an intelligence far beyond what we have today, because you could turn it any direction and you will find a distinguishable form, recognizable form, and that's like painting a painting and then turning it upside down and it becomes something else. Say you painted a giraffe, you turn it upside down, it becomes a gorilla. You turn it sideways, it becomes a boat. And you turn it upside down and it becomes a tree with flowers. That's what I'm talking about. How would you know when you're painting the giraffe that it's going to be able to do all that? It takes a very, very sophisticated type of brain to do that. And who were these creatures? I'll show you. They were these guys. See that? Notice the sloped head, the eye, and not only that, but I believe these, if you get close up to them, are actually maps. All these details are maps. Now if you turn this one upside down, you get the face, the eye, there's a little notch there. Then he also has something going on his head. So that's one way. This way is another way. And even when you go to the back and look carefully, you'll see other forms. These creatures, whoever they were extremely, extremely intelligent. So, let me show you more evidence. Let me show you more evidence of the speed in which this event happened and how it could petrify everything and anything was turned completely to stone. Here's two great examples. That is an egg. What type of egg? I do not know. But it's an egg. And that's how quickly everything turned to stone. This is another egg. See that? Let's see the shell, where the shell ends and where the whatever it was begins. But this egg is interesting because it also has things carved into it which may have happened after it was petrified. Like right here, let's take a look at this. See that? And that face with all those things on it. And look at the other face. See the other face? There's two faces, one face. Yeah, this one is of some type of reptilian creature, perhaps. Yeah, so this egg actually has all sorts of interesting images on it. Now I guarantee you, if you put this egg and that other egg on a fossil website or something, they're going to tell you it's just a rock or some other thing, because they don't understand. They don't understand that everything was turned to stone all at once in a very short amount of time. The oceans boiled over, and then after the boiling, they had a very quick cooling, an ice age happened right after. And because of everything happened just the right way, everything was turned to stone. And I'm going to show you some other things that are actually teeth. These are teeth of some ancient creatures, and if you put it on a fossil site, showed them pictures, they'll tell you, no, 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 it's not a tooth, it's not a tooth, because they don't get it. They just don't get it. So let me show you a close-up of these. The reason I know it's a tooth is because it's very smooth on the bottom, and the way it's shaped, but not only is it a tooth, but it is actually a carved tooth, which that part may be difficult to see because of the lighting. So this is one, and it would probably, okay, maybe you can see something there or there. Right, so there's a little, see that little face? Okay. That's one, and then if we go different way, so it would actually be, this would be the part that's in the mouth, and this would actually be the tooth part. Okay. Now, if I get the lighting just right, you'll be able to see the carvings that are in it, but it's very difficult to see without the right. Okay, we might be able to get some kind of idea here. Looks like maybe a fish, a duck, I don't know. Hard to say, but this is a tooth. It was a petrified tooth. Let's look at another one. Let's look at this example. This one is interesting. Okay, it's the same thing, and you can see that it has the same smoothness on the bottom, and it has the same shape, but interestingly enough, it also has things carved in it. You see that face? Take note of this face right here. You see that? That is the face of some type of a gorilla or some type of creature. And so see how it's smooth on the bottom, just like the other one? Okay, and you can see how it's, this part here is the root because of the thing. And it would be like this. It would be in a dinosaur's mouth. Okay. Another example. Okay, now take a look at this. See how flat and smooth it is, and it's definitely not a rock. What that is, looks like I don't know. Hard to tell. But it's flat on this side. Let's see this. It's actually been worked and carved. Now, it was outside for a long time, so it's very difficult to discern exactly what the carving is. But so there we have three different examples of teeth of ancient creatures, perhaps dinosaurs, that were actually carved or worked on and completely turned to stone. You put these on a fossil website, and what are they going to tell you? First, they'll ask you where you found it. If you tell them it's from Connecticut, they'll tell you, oh, it's not a fossil, blah, 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 blah. They don't understand. Everything was turned to stone. They don't get it. Now, this is a really interesting example. This is, I believe, could be a whale's tooth, a marine animal. I don't know, but let's take a close look at this. Now, this one has definitely been worked because there is these images on it. Like I said, the lighting is not doing it any justice, so you might just have to take my word for it, but you can see that something has been carved into this, and not just something, but a whole bunch of somethings. And also, now I admit this one is still quite a bit of a mystery to me. If anyone has any ideas, I'd like to hear it in the comments section. I'm very curious of if anybody's seen anything like this before. Let me know if you agree that everything was turned to stone. I know the other guy who has a channel there, Mud Fossil, he totally agrees that these are what he would call mud fossils. But let me show you some other really interesting artifacts that I've come across. Let's try this one. Now, this is interesting is because a lot of people in New England are finding these stones that are totally matte black, just like this one. And they wonder what civilization made them that way. Was it Native Americans, indigenous tribes? Was it cavemen? They don't know, and nobody has a good answer. But this is very interesting because I don't know if it was a instrument or what its purpose was, but I'll show you why these two things are connected. This actually is like a dice, like a 5/8-sided dice or something, and these two have the exact same markings on it, which is very interesting. But what is perhaps it was for divining the future, something like that. I don't know, but take a closer look. Note that right there, and then this has the exact same, as soon as I find it, exact same type of mark. See how those two things? Its exact purpose, still a mystery to me, but it's interesting. It was definitely created by some ancient civilization. Most of these things are found in the same area. And we'll just do one more. Keep in mind that this tooth here was found miles away from the ocean, in the middle of Connecticut. So what it was doing there, anybody's question, if it is indeed a marine mammal of some kind, which I suspect it is, but this is something I found not far from it, and obviously this is a stay from a very old type of boat, so perhaps there was a whaling vessel. You know, back way back when, the entire East Coast would have been shallow ocean. Anyway, we're talking way, way back, millions of years ago. Um, and so perhaps, you know, I don't know. It's speculation here. You know, I don't know, but that was found near it. This other one, just two more quick ones, and then I'll wrap it up. This one is interesting. I've shown it to you before, but I want you to take a good look at it because they always do multiple faces. So we have this sort of old crone type thing, but then we also have this sort of caveman face looking up at the sky, and then we have this snake with these garnets or whatever they are on top. He's holding up this torch, which is right here, and even if you turn it upside down, whichever way you want to turn it, you'll find that there's always another face, always something else to see. I believe it's a petrified bone of something, but when you look at this, you'll see we have the face here with the snake, but then there's also so much more to see. Like I said, the lighting is not helping me any, but there's faces all throughout, and there's so many things to see on here. I don't really have the time or the correct lighting to show you everything, but the fact that they can carve something and every single facet of it will become something, a recognizable form, is just the extent of the genius that we're talking here. Incredibly brilliant minds is all I can say. Incredibly brilliant. Let's see if I can find the... Every way you turn it, you will find something. This guy's cool, right here. Check this guy out. This guy. Look at that. It's remarkable. Simply remarkable. Oh yeah. One more quick one. This is a stick that was turned to stone, but prior to that it was carved by an ancient civilization, found in exactly the same spot as these other things. First of all, you can see it's an alligator. His mouth, his two eyes. Okay, but then if you turn it upside down, it will become something else. Perhaps the lighting is not helping me once again, but when you zoom in on it this way, see that? What is that? Creatures. this here, this part here, it almost looks like computer code. The way it's fallen down, like in the Matrix. So what I have shown you here, number one, everything was turned to stone. So people are looking for fossils. They need to look at stones because everything at least in the Northeast was very quickly turned to stone. Secondly, it proves that a very super intelligent civilization once occupied this area. And I mean super intelligent. More intelligent than we are today on this level. They had the ability to carve everything. Their entire civilization is carved into stone. People are just not looking in the right place. As far as the Fermi paradox, which says that if there was life, we would have found it by now. If there was life from other planets, extraterrestrial, the reason we haven't found it is because we're looking out there when it's here. It's always been here, and evidence of it is always been here too. It's just science and history. They really don't want us to know. Why is the reason they don't want us to know? Well, that's something I've discussed before, and I don't have time to go into right now. But they really don't want us to know the truth. And so, sometimes you have to find out for yourself. You have to do your own digging, your own research. And when things don't add up, ask yourself, why? Why does this not make sense? So, there you have it. Again, I want to thank my new subscribers. Peace, love, and prosperity. You've inspired me to continue making videos because I see that there's new subscribers showing up all the time. My Morgellons update is brief. I'm still battling it. I sort of have it under control because I stay away from insect bites, which is the vectors that are bringing it to us. But there's other ways they can get to you too. And the reason medical science doesn't want to discuss it is because they know it's evidence of a civilization, of extraterrestrial type civilization and technology. And if they start digging into it, then they have to try to explain that. And so that's why we don't have any government funding or any of that stuff, because the people way up on the food chain already know that the evidence there exists. So nonetheless, this video is long enough. Thank you again. Peace, love, and prosperity.